All right, let's do module 4.12, asking your golden prospect to link to you, part 3. This is a tactic that I use sparingly because it works, but you can see I'm really manipulative if it doesn't work right. And I'll give you a perfect example at the end of this video who uses this tactic, and you'll recognize who it is. All right, so what is this psychological tactic that I'm not suggesting you use in your link outreach? I'm just telling you that it works. And it doesn't always work, but it works a lot more when you use it than if you ask for the link without using this tactic. All right, what am I talking about? Well, it's not my system. It's a system that, quite frankly, is brilliant. It's one of the most genius things that I've ever seen in the field of influence, and it's by Dr. Robert Cialdini. And he's an eminent leading social scientist in the field of influence. And if you want to learn to become a better link builder, influence is going to be something that you need to get pretty good at. You need to influence the people you reach out to. You need to influence your clients if you have clients. Or if you want to get some media coverage, you need to be able to influence the media. So there's a lot of times when influence is really important for a link builder. It may be the most important skill set of a link builder. A link builder without influence is somebody that isn't going to be in the industry very long. Right? All right, so where do I learn how to become a better link builder? It's certainly not by buying link building books. There's only been one great link building book, and it's still just as applicable today as it was when it was written 4 or 5 years ago, and that's Eric Ward's link building book. And if you want to find it, you can go to Amazon and just search link building and look at the number one result that comes up. That'll be Eric. You don't even have to look in the book section. Just type in link building on Amazon and look who's at number 1. And you might want to look to see who's at number 2. Thank you very much. And Eric and I, we were always kidding each other about whose book was at number 1. And one time I passed him. He sold so many more copies of his book than I have. But one time I passed him, and there's only one reason I passed him is because he shared my book in his newsletter, and all of a sudden just an avalanche of sales came in, and it pushed my book up higher than his. And well, let me show you. We got time. I'm going to go to Amazon. I'm not going to move the screen. That's not what I want you to see. We'll go on a field trip. Link. Well, let me move that over a little bit. Link building. Yeah, he's still at number 1. If you don't have his book, buy it. And you don't need to buy my book because I gave it to you in Module 1 as a download. But if you want the audio, which is read by yours truly, it's there for $5.95. But that's not the purpose of this module. What I'm going to do is teach you a tactic that I learned from Dr. Robert Cialdini. And so if I want a book, I can't just go buy a link building book, and neither can you, because there's just not that many good ones. So if I wanted to get better at outreach, where do we go to learn how to get better at outreach? Well, we take courses from somebody that you trust, and also you find a little network of people that are in the industry too, and network with them and find out and trade secrets and, hey, what's working for you? Well, this is what's working for us. And then you just trade ideas back and forth and really collaborate with one another. It's amazing how fast that you can get really good at building links. But if there's a skill set that you want to get above all others, and then it's influence. And what this tactic is, it's based on reciprocal concession. And Donald Trump, like him or hate him, uses this tactic. This is his tactic. Did he ever plan on building a huge wall stretching from sea to shining sea? No, he never, ever meant to do that. Did he say he was? Yes, he was dealing with reciprocal concession. That's what he deals with. And that's why that's why I say use this tactic sparingly, because if you do it wrong, you're going to get a lot of people not liking you. And Trump just, I'm not going to get into it. All right, so reciprocal concession. Ask for something larger than you want. Then reduce it down to what you really want. What happens when you do that is the other party takes it as a concession on your part. And they're like, well, I didn't grant the big concession to it. I didn't grant the big ask to him or her. And then you come back and reduce it down to what you really want. Your chances of earning a link really, I don't have the percentages, but it improves significantly. You ask for something more than you want. Then, and I'll show you how that translates to you and your golden prospect, then you reduce it. And that will be taken as a concession more times than not. And I'll give you another example. And I think Dr. Caldini uses this example, is the whole Watergate scandal of Nixon's era that took Nixon down. There was a gentleman named G. Gordon Liddy who was proposing these preposterous plans on how to help the Republicans win that particular election. And I can't remember, was it 72? And what happened was he had one elaborate idea where he said, well, we'll kidnap some Democrats, then we'll blackmail them, and we'll get a bunch of hookers onto a boat and take pictures of them all. And it was this like really elaborate, illegal, and expensive plans. And they turned them down. G. Gordon Liddy came back a second time with another plan. This time it was much reduced from the original plan. They turned him down again. He came back the third time with a bare bones plan that turned out to be the entire Watergate plan. And they accepted it, and they let him do it. And everybody that was involved with that decision later couldn't understand why they made that decision, because it was such a bad one. But it was reciprocal concession. They felt bad. They turned the guy down twice. And he came back a third time, and they said, we got to give him something. Throw him a bone. They threw him a bone, and it took down their administration. That's reciprocal concession. That's powerful. And if you want to learn more about that, get these two books, Influence, Science and Practice, and Persuasion, The Revolutionary Way to Influence and Persuade. All right, this is really a rejection then retreat strategy. You ask for the link, and then you also, this was just one scenario how you could use the rejection then retreat strategy. Ask your golden prospect for the link and help from him or her to reach out to a few of their own influencer friends to get them to link to you as well. That's an audacious goal, isn't it? Hello, Mr. Golden Prospect. Would you please ask your friends such and such to link to this site? I think it'll be a great addition to their site. And if you like to, and then also you ask them to link, then ask for their link in the same request. All right, so now that's bold. Is that golden prospect going to do that? Well, but it's more than you want. But if they grant it, you're going to win big. And sometimes those home run balls actually go out of the park. If you take a swing for the fences, sometimes you clear the bases. And I'm not talking out number 3. That's most of the time when I played baseball. And I was on a team, and that's usually how I cleared the bases. I was the third out. But if you swing for the fences, sometimes you hit it out of the park. So don't be afraid for this ask, which is more than what you really want. Go overboard with it a little bit, but not too far, else you look insane. Now, like I said, if it's more, it's way more than you want, but if they grant it, you win big. But most likely they won't grant it. Then you reach back in 3 days, say, hey, I overstepped in my last email. That was really aggressive. I want to apologize for that. I realized that you and I don't know each other that well at all, and I don't know what came over me other than the fact I've just really geeked to be connected with you and to have you respond back to me. And I just kind of took that and just got euphoric over that a little bit. And I'm sorry for asking you to do that. I know you're too busy. And now what's going to happen? Now this is going to be perceived by your golden prospect as a concession. Now that didn't work with Eric. And I didn't try this with Eric. But it wouldn't have worked because Eric was a link builder. It's like I always say, the best link builder ever. And this type of shenanigans wouldn't have worked with him. But if your golden prospect isn't into link building, you'll more likely than not be able to trigger a reciprocal concession from him or her if you ask for more than you really want, then reach back in a few days and have a really good apology and say I overstepped. And remember, this isn't your first outreach to him or her. You've already did nice things for them. There's already reciprocation building up when you get to this point of the campaign. And this is just a trigger to give you an extra surge of it as you ask for the link. Now that's going to be up to you whether or not you use this. But the more you learn to influence people, and influence isn't a bad word. This world needs influencers. We know that. And we need good influencers. But if you want to get links, you need to get really good at influencing people. And this is just one way to use psychology to get the link back. You've already, in the last video in 411, I said, I don't really like having reciprocation be my main axe handle when I'm reaching out for a link. It's not enough. It doesn't work on its own. It's nice. It adds to something. It adds like the garnish to something else you're doing. But when you mix reciprocal concession into it, yeah, you'll see the difference. So you'll have to decide if you want to use a tactic. You'll also have to decide how overboard you go with your ask, and you'll also have to decide straight up 100% and how you're going to reach back to take care of to offer the concession. And really, it's not a concession. It's your first ask. Now, what if you could also use this. So this is how it usually works by amateurs. The person reaches out, not for more than they ask. They reach out asking what they really want, which is the link. So all they ask for is the link. Then the prospect, they don't hear anything back for a few days. Then the link builder replies back, and they offer a concession, all right, but it's not what they got. They get less. They usually, the concession is, hey, I shared it on my social media. Thank you very much. So they give a concession anyway. So if they don't link to you, they give you the social media link. So don't come in with your main ask. Wait and add something to it so you could have some wiggle room in your negotiation. And if you keep that mindset, in mind, that frame of mindset in your conscious, when you think about Donald Trump, like him or hate him, this is what he's doing on just about every single topic that people get upset at him about. There's no way that he's using it for, he's using it for a reason. As a link builder, you can use it too. And you don't have to be bombastic about it, but you can use reciprocal concession into your bag of tricks that you can use to earn links, not just from your golden prospects, but if you can learn reciprocal concession to your silver prospects, you're going to become just that much better of a link builder. All right, there's one more video. I'm gonna go over there and pop that on, and then I'll upload it, and then I'll see you there.